I've always been a unique person, you know what I mean? Sort of laid back in a way, but very adamant and very passionate about what I believe. I think a lot of times that sort of throws people off because they don't expect me to have the mindset or the process of thought that I do. And so when you come in to watch my channel, you may hear a myriad of thoughts and ideas that could be different from others. What I want you to do is just sit back, like, share, and subscribe. To receive instant notification each time I upload, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification.
Helping you along the way, helping you to make it through another day. Yeah, everything you need to know that you never knew, that you need to know. Lockhart perspective.
California's Orange County plans to launch a pilot program for a vaccine and testing passport, according to health officials. The vaccine and testing credentialing arrangement will be rolled out sometime in April, Orange County Health Care Agency officials said on Twitter. They said, quote, "The digital passport enables individuals to participate safely with the peace of mind in activities that involved interactions with other people, including travel, attractions, conferences, meetings, concerts, sports, schools, and more," the officials have added. That while they are scant about how the digital vaccine passport would work, the Orange County Health Agency Director and Health Officer, Dr. Clayton Chaw, told the OC Register that the county's existing Othina vaccine scheduling app will be modified to include a credentialing feature. The Othina app is being used to schedule vaccine appointments at the county's mass inoculation sites, including Disneyland. Chaw also told the outlet that printed cards could be used for people who don't use smartphones. California Public Health Officer Dr. Tomas Aragon said last week that there are currently no plans to create a state-level vaccination passport system, although health officials are looking into formulating standards and guidelines around the use of such credentials, according to KTLA, a local television station there in California. Aragon said that if federal authorities, quote, "don't move fast enough with developing such guidelines, we will come up with the technical standards that will be expected, really focusing on making sure that privacy is protected and that equity is protected," end quote. It comes amid controversy over vaccine passport style systems, which have been proposed in some countries, and some U.S. states and regions have either considered their adoption or moved forward with their deployment. Hawaii Governor David Ige's latest emergency proclamation includes a plan for vaccine passports that would allow travelers to avoid quarantine and COVID-19 testing. While there is no timeline for its adoption, and it still needs to be approved by the director of the Hawaii Emergency Management Agency, Lieutenant Governor Josh Green, told Hawaii News now that the plan is to launch a pilot for the inter-island travel by May 1st. New York State has also rolled out its Excelsior Pass. The systems would require people to show that they have been vaccinated when trying to enter into certain events and locations. The vaccine passports have been criticized by civil liberties groups, which say that they would potentially violate Americans' rights and privacies while denying key services to people who are not vaccinated. The Biden administration has said that it would not develop a federal vaccine passport system, but that it would come up with guidelines around their use and leave development to the private sector and local authorities. The government is not now, nor will be in support of a system that requires Americans to carry a credential. There will be no federal vaccination database and no federal mandate requiring everyone to obtain a single vaccination credential, the White House press secretary said to reporters at the White House last week. She stated that last month, she stated and responded to reports that the administration was working with private firms to create a passport system, saying the administration would only provide guidance. She says, quote, "Our interest is very simple from the federal government, which is that Americans' privacies and rights should be protected so that these systems are not used against people unfairly," she stated last Tuesday. For clarification, she said that the government would provide guidance on privacy concerns related to the vaccines. Several governors, including Texas Governor Greg Abbott and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, both Republicans, have issued executive orders barring the use of passport vaccines. Representative Andy Briggs, the Republican there in Arizona, has also introduced legislation that would ban federal agencies from future issuance of any standardized documentation that would be used to certify COVID-19 vaccines, the status to third parties. So they don't want to give it to places like airlines and restaurants. Briggs proposed a bill called the No Vaccine Passport Act, and that it would prohibit the proof of COVID-19 vaccinations from being a requirement to access federal or congressional property and services, Briggs' office said in a statement. He says, quote, "My private health care decisions and yours are nobody else's business," he states. He continues, "Vaccine passports will not help our nation recover from COVID-19. Instead, they will simply impose more Big Brother surveillance on our society." Wow. He's got some very healthy words there, some pretty strong words about that. And in other news that's pretty related, there's some more stuff that's going on with that vaccine for the J&J. So Johnson & Johnson. So today the CDC came out, and this is their report. The CDC came out and said that health officials are recommending that Johnson & Johnson's COVID-19 vaccine not be used until an investigation into the cases of post-vaccination clots is finished. The 6 cases, all among women, involve a rare and severe type of clot called, I will not even try this one, but it looks like cerebral venous sinus thrombosis in combination with low levels of blood platelets, officials told reporters in a call on April 13th that one of the patients died while the second is in critical condition at a hospital. The patients are between the ages of 18 and 48 and experienced the symptoms between 6 and 13 days after getting the COVID-19 vaccine. So the CDC is on it. The CDC, as well as the WHO, as well as the FDA, have all stood up for America and said, no, we got to pause this. So here we go. Right now, these adverse events appear to be extremely rare. And that was from Dr. Peter Marks, the director of the Food and Drug Administration, Centers for Biologics Evaluation and Research. This is what he stated in a call. They go on and say that more than 6.8 million doses of the Johnson & Johnson shot have been administered in the United States as of April 12th. And in response to the cases, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is convening a meeting of its Vaccination Advisory Committee on April 14th to review and assess the potential significance. The Food and Drug Administration, along with an investigation into the cases themselves, they'll review and then they will give us the analysis. Until the probe is complete, health officials and drug regulators are recommending a pause in the use of the vaccine out of an abundance of caution. They say, quote, while these events are very rare, we are recommending a pause in the use of the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine in order to prepare the healthcare system to recognize and treat patients appropriately and to report severe events that they may be seeing in people who've received it. And that comes from Dr. Ann Schulte. I think that's it. Shoot Chat. What a neat name. The principal director of the Centers for Disease Control has stated that the treatment of the specific blood clots is different from the treatments that might be typically administered. Usually, clots can be treated with heparin, which is an anticoagulant drug. But using the drug to treat the cerebral venous sinus thrombosis may be definitely dangerous. While the definitive cause of the clots has not been identified, the CDC has said that they've speculated that the incidents stem from an immune response into the body. They state that the person being vaccinated makes an immune response potentially that actually involves their own platelets or other parts of the coagulation system and can cause this problem. And that's the sort of leading theory or hypothesis about what's going on here, said Janet Woodcock. Another FDA official has chimed in. So meanwhile, CVS, Walgreens, and a number of states, including Massachusetts and New York, said that they would stop giving it out to people in light of the federally recommended pause. And the Pentagon has also halted the use of the J&J. And they said the pause is appropriate and it's obviously being done to be more careful, to be very prudent, to carefully examine these cases for a possible association with the vaccine. And that comes from Dr. Mark Rupp. He is the chief of the University of Nebraska's Medical Center Division of Infectious Diseases. And he told reporters this on a Zoom call. And he says that it's a demonstration that the vaccine adverse event reporting system really is working. One of the 6 cases happened at the medical center. Rupp declined to give an update on her status. Johnson & Johnson is reported as saying that the company was aware of the events, including those that have the thrombosis, whoever's a nurse or a doctor, and I know you know what I mean. They have been reported in all the cases with all the vaccines. So they sort of threw the other companies under the bus and said, it's not just us, it's all the companies have it going on. They state that our close tracking of the side effects has revealed a small number of very rare events following the vaccination. And at present, no clear causal relationship has been established between these rare events and the Janssen, looks like it should say Johnson COVID-19 vaccine. And Janssen is actually a unit of J&J. Well, that's amazing. And I'm so glad to see that our CDC and that our FDA did a great thing, and that they are protecting the American people. In an update on the April 13th, the company said that in light of the federal recommendation, the company is delaying the rollout of its vaccine in Europe. So they said that they've been working closely with the medical experts and the health authorities, and we strongly support the open communication of this information to the healthcare professionals and the public, Johnson & Johnson stated. Johnson & Johnson's vaccine has not been administered as yet in Europe, and the United States is one of the first countries in the world to authorize the vaccine. Well, yeah, I got a little more, just about 4 more paragraphs of this, because I think this is going to hit us pretty close to home when we listen to this information. But isn't it a great thing that the CDC is doing the right thing and stopping all of this from happening, as well as the FDA? Now, while the health officials are raising concerns about the blood clots and the drug regulators haven't revoked the emergency use authorization, former Food and Drug Administration Commissioner Scott Gottlieb said on the CNBC's Squawk Box, he said they have not revoked it. They didn't revoke the EUA. They didn't order this off the market. And this was requested as a pause, which is an awkward regulatory step, he said, but it reflects the level of caution not to appear too forcefully here, he says. The White House officials said the pause wouldn't affect the government's vaccination plan. At least 4 mass vaccination sites have suspended administering vaccines in recent days because of sets of adverse reactions following the shots in New Jersey-based company, including Cumming Fairgrounds in Georgia and PNC Arena in North Carolina. Other smaller state sites have also suspended injections because of similar reactions. Adverse reactions include dizziness, lightheadedness, and sweating symptoms, and others, the CDC spokesperson has stated. In an April 12th statement, the agency, the CDC, said that it analyzed the vaccine lots that were used at those sites and has found nothing or a reason for concern. At the time, the CDC said, and the FDA, or the Food and Drug Administration's officials, weren't recommending a pause in the administration of the J&J injections at that particular time. But of course, they have changed it for the better and for the safety of the American public and anybody else. Paper shuffling again, and anybody else who would take it. So that's good news. The American public is now safe, and that the FDA as well as the CDC is doing their best to make sure that everybody is protected. Okay, so I am really glad that everyone is here. Let's see, one lady went live and her whole wow. Well, gee whiz, don't want to know anything about that stuff. Yep, we're trying to be as as we possibly can. And there's been a lot of hubbub about the former president who just does not seem to want to go away. He does not seem to want to go away. He has a lot of stuff that he's got to say about the J&J, and he's enthralled in a battle. And it's amazing because to me, it's really much ado about nothing. It really is. Everything that he's got to say about the whole thing has as much ado about nothing. The former president, Donald Trump, said the federal government is doing a terrible disservice to the Americans by halting the usage of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, while saying they may have halted due to possible political reasons. Well, come on now, you guys. We all know that the reason why they stopped it was because the Food and Drug Administration knows what's best, and the CDC knows what's best. That's a pregnant pause. Nonetheless, he needs to just possibly have a hush seat and have a seat and sit down, because there's a lot of stuff going on. So let's just take a quick roll call here. Right quick. We're just going to go all the way back up before we end up this news brief. Okay. Yes, we are. One Peaches 41. Got your seatbelt on. Yeah, I know, right? Evening. Hello. How are you, Anthony Van Zandt? And we also want to say, getting dizzy, Anthony Van Zandt says. Yes. Okay, y'all. All righty. So we've got some pretty lively people in here this evening, and it's a good thing. I so appreciate each and every one of you for tuning into the Lockhart Perspectives news briefs. These are really, really important, right? And it's something that we really just need to throw out there and give, but it's a very good thing that the CDC is on our side. The CDC cares about the American people. Okay, let's see. I'm appalled by the fact that the states are putting all their eggs Well. Yes. Absolutely. Yeah, looks like there's some stuff going on, right? So the only thing that we can do, hello, God bless America. It's so good to see you. So good to see you. I'm glad to see that Steve Willis is here as well. Anthony Van Zandt, Peaches is here. SCDHL is here as well. Let's see what else we got going on. I'm more worried. Yeah. Deplorable says impossible to get. Wow. Well, I thank each and every one of you for all of your comments today. And thank you guys for tuning in. It has been a bit of whiplash. We went through all of the stories with the exception of a couple. If you're on Patreon, we did do a story today. And I want to thank everybody who has responded to the Patreon upload. It's basically an audio, and it's very good. It's discussing some things that I think I've never really looked at the juxtaposition of what it is that we talked about over there in Patreon. So if you are a Patreon, you've got mail. You may want to just pop on over there and take a look at it or take a listen. Not that long. It's a handful of minutes, maybe 15 max, but it is very good, and I enjoyed it. And so I just want to appreciate everybody who is a Patreon and who has joined us. Also, I want to let you guys know that what you'll be able to do now that we are uploading things on different platforms that are not the same here for specific reasons. If you guys are interested, please do not hesitate to join me over there on Vition. And also, if you are a user of just listening, a lot of folks just like to listen. You can go over to Anchor. You can go over to Anchor. You can go to Spotify. If you don't have Anchor, you can go to Spotify. Definitely can. Yes, you can right now. And you can also go to a couple of other places. And when you go to Anchor, you will see everywhere that I am. When you go over to Spotify, it should lead you back to Anchor and a couple of other places. But there is a lot of new information on some of those websites. And I think you guys would be very think you'd be served well if you went over there. Also on Odyssey, there are some uploads that are not here. And on Library, there are some uploads that are not here. All of the exclusive things are definitely going to be on Patreon. So if you're not a Patreon, please do join us there. If you'd like to make a separate blessing, if you'd like to bless us with something separate, you can definitely do that as well. Just go to Lockhart Perspective. Lockhart Perspective. If you'd like to make it immediate, you can definitely do that by going right there on Cash App, Lockhart Perspective. Drop the and just the $ Lockhart Perspective, because we may not be here very long. I'm very strongly considering pulling everything and moving it over to other platforms that we can just honestly have some good times there. There's a lot of different things we've got on. We've got a Twitch channel. We've got a Anchor channel. We've got a BitChute. We've got what is this other one? Brighteon. We're everywhere, pretty much ubiquitous. And so with that said, won't you join me? Just find out where I am. See if you can see us over there on Library or Odyssey and pull it up and enjoy it. When you do, let me know that you watched some of the stuff that we've got going on. Again, there are some things there that you may not see over here. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so very much for all of your support. And someone gave me a blessing, and I think that was in our last news brief, and it was Verns. Thank you for that, Verns. If you are a voyeur, one of the 15 that I don't see here in the chat, but if you are just a voyeur, or perhaps you're busy and you're doing something else, then I want to thank you so very much for that, for giving me that blessing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, folks, we are coming up right now in about 22 minutes. And I just want to tell all of you all that you just make me better. Yes, you do. I'm enjoying everybody that is sending me any information that you're giving me over there in the Felicia at FeliciaLockhart.com on the email. Send me whatever you need over there. There's also a telephone number if you have to leave a voicemail or a message. I may not answer that line all the time, but you are definitely welcome to leave a voicemail. So that way, when I get it, I can get back with you. And give me a day or so to get back with you. Sometimes it may be sooner, it may be later, but I will definitely get back. If you send something over there and it sits a day or so, don't worry. You may see a thumbs up from me, one heart or something, but I will definitely respond. You guys are the greatest. I want each and every one of you guys to take care of one another. And thank you for joining me here on the Lockhart Perspective News Brief. Take care.